Paul, when we spoke on whatever day it was, Sunday, after the game, you'd hoped that you could get a couple of bodies in time for the game against Oxford. How's that looking?
Less likely than more likely, I think. Whether we do get a couple of bodies in by the kick-off time, it could be one of them where they walk onto the pitch and wave like they're the Queen. I don't think they'd be in time to like get the medicals done, get through training, be involved in the squad. So even if we're fortunate enough to get a couple of fresh faces in, which I am anticipating, to be honest, there won't be an involvement for the Friday night game.
But how's everything looking otherwise? I mean, January transfer window, right? It's one that changes pretty much on the hour.
Yeah, it's hectic, exciting. You know you're alive. That is a thing. At least I know my phone works now. I mean, I've just had to put it on silent, haven't I? Yeah, so it is a crazy time for the managers, and it is for the players, to be fair. Players always feel a little bit unsettled. It sort of starts a little bit pacey, then it dies a death, I think. So I know everyone looks at us to do loads of business, but I think here and off the rumour mill, there's a lot of clubs in our league doing a lot of big business this month, because everyone's trying to get the promotion really, so or fighting for other things. But a lot of the teams at the top are doing a lot of wiggling, so it is a bit chaotic. But yeah, I think in fairness, I do think it is a bit of a crazy time, because before you prepare for games, you recover from games, even as a member of staff, you have a deep breath and you go, right, here we go, the next game, and then the next game, like that. Whereas when it's the January transfer window, anytime you have any any time off, it's all about the recruiting. So I've had 2 days pretty intense. When I finish this today, I've got a FaceTime with the player at 5:30, and it's a constant cycle of trying to improve the squad, really, as everyone's trying to do.
Well, I was just about to ask you about how the last couple of days have been, because you said you were going to give everybody a couple of days off, but for you it sounds like it hasn't been a couple of days off.
Not really, no. I'll wait till Feb. But I give everyone, I think everyone needed to just have mental rest, if nothing else. It has been tough for everyone, and I think even for journalists, fans, it just seemed weird this year. It just seemed quicker than I've ever known it. I don't know if it is. I don't know if I'm just getting older and grumpier. I don't know, but it seemed
felt like
really
football overload, didn't it?
Yeah, it did seem like a really quick turnaround, and maybe more so that it was disappointing in the fact that we conceded late against Colchester and late against Chesterfield. That's 3 points we've lost. Not dropped, because we didn't actually have them, but we've lost really, so that's disappointing. But the place is really positive today. We had a good meeting with the lads. We showed them stuff and showed them how the league table looked this time last year and who went up and who didn't, and stuff like that. And I don't think we're too far off a lot of things, but unfortunately I think in the last 6 games we've only conceded 1 goal that wasn't a set piece. So I think we're defending really well, but we've just got to get better at not giving away needless free kicks, possibly. So I don't think there's a great deal wrong, but I do think we should have accrued a few more points. So yeah, it's an intense period, and I think the lads needed a break from me, and vice versa, really. And then you come back in and then you refresh, and not that it's a free hit, because I never look at games like that, but then it's an FA Cup game. You can enjoy it for what it is, and we've done all the prep we do with every other game. And you watch Oxford, and I don't know if they will, but they have been playing similar to how Chesterfield played at the weekend, so there are similarities. But that's sort of where it ends, because the pace and the power and the touch of the Championship players is obviously a lot higher than what we saw at the weekend. I say weekend, it was weekend, wasn't it?
Yes,
Sunday?
Sunday. Yeah. We're still in that point where it all blurs all together.
Yeah, I know, wow. Next week we'll crack it.
When we spoke to Gethin Jones after the Colchester game, he said putting runs of wins together is I suppose the New Year's resolution that you guys need to crack, because it often feels like it's 2 wins in a row, then a little stumbling, then another 2 wins in a row. Putting 3 or 4 wins together is where teams start to separate themselves, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true, and that's how Bromley have done it, haven't they? They've won, I don't know if they've won 6 in a row, and like, I know we have Aki the week after, I think they've won 5 out of 7, so they're an informed team as well. So, yeah, it is about winning back-to-back games, and like I've been pretty pleased with our performances, to be fair. I don't think we've been, and I thought the game the other day at home to Chesterfield, I thought the first half is the best we've been at home for ages. So, however, it's always about results, isn't it? So you're talking about the smallest of margins. You know, we don't give away a corner in the last minute. We come away, we'll probably be third, and things would look healthier. But you're right, back to performances and wins, and you get a momentum coming into the new year as we are. You give yourself a right chance, and you know, at the moment we've definitely given ourselves a right chance, but we need to improve in many elements to get over the finishing line.
Does it sometimes make it harder than approaching this January window when you see performances that aren't that far off, and you think, well, where do you want to improve? Or is it that you have to really dig into the minutiae and go, okay, so we're now looking at these somewhat minor errors, minor things that you want to improve on?
Yeah, good question. I think when you start the season and you get the group together and you go on pre-season, you try and have everyone together, you sort of agree on like decency values and training values, and you know how winning looks and how you want to play, no matter what shape, but you know really what you stand for. You get a good group together and you think, well, here we go. And then by about October, November time, you have a good feel. So by November, I thought, right, we've cracked it. Not cracked it, like we're going to win the league or romp it, but just we're in a pretty good place. The lads get it. They're all motivated. They're all pretty fit. And then, unfortunately, we got hit with a few injuries, which has definitely rocked us. There's no, you know, I can't say it hasn't. It has. We went through a stage of like no fullbacks, and then like now we're back to the stage of only having one left wing back really. So as the weekend showed, it was it's awkward. And then the window opens. You think, right, I just need to backfill the problems really. So like, you know, Gilbert has been missing for a couple of games. You miss him. Mendes is out for long periods. You miss him. Collar's out for long periods. You miss him. Kane's still not back. Joe's out for a long time. So you've only got this opportunity really to not right your wrongs from the summer, because I like the squad we started with, but right the wrongs that you've collected on the way really. So I think the window for us is, look, what do we think we're missing? And there's certain things in our squad that in recent weeks has become more evident to me. I think look, I just want a bit more there, and I want a little bit more there. And however, I always say this, which goes down really badly with every fan base, that if we don't get anything, we don't get anything. But we have to try and get the best players we can to improve us. So I don't want to sign a player that has no impact, that just, you know, fills a spot on the bench or in the squad. I want a player that comes in and sort of knock someone off their feet a little bit, and I want players that, you know, you walk in and they are introduced and all the lads are like, oh my God, he's not bad, him. I've got to up my game. Training improves, the squad improves, and then hopefully our good performances can turn into more wins, and that's sort of the driving force behind our window.
How are Alex Gilbey and Marvin Ekpiteta?
Yeah, good. Marv's fine now. We've picked up another couple of issues from the Sunday game, unfortunately, but Marv's okay. Gilbs is okay, but I don't think he'll be someone I risk in the cup game. I think we might look at him after the weekend.
I suppose it's one of those where you can afford almost to not have him play, given that it's an FA Cup, and you know, you've said it before, you're probably not going to Wembley, but it might. You know, it's one of those where not necessarily a free hit, but maybe a little bit is. Yeah,
a little bit, yeah. I mean, I'd love to go through. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying, but it was funny. We got an email yesterday that I commented on straight away in a WhatsApp group with all the staff, and it was saying there's 12 yellow balls and 12 white balls, FA Cup balls to train with. And if we get to the semi-final, we get some more white ones. And I just can't wait to reply, like, oh yeah, I can't wait for that next delivery to come. And I hope then we get some more for the final. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if 24 white, 12 yellow will be enough, because by then...
Well, you know, everyone will want to nick a commemorative.
Yeah, and I always like to take an FA Cup ball home from a dog. I've done that for years and years. So, Like my dog's got loads, and I think, oh, if we get to the final, how many white balls can I give my dog? It'd be like Wimbledon in my back garden, so that'd be great. So so I'd love a cup run, I would. But also I'm aware that, look, if you said to me now, you can go through, you can beat Oxford, however, Gilbs is struggling, I don't know, Pato's struggling, and you go into Accrington away and you don't have those players available, that's a problem as well, isn't it, obviously. So we have to be sensible with our decisions, but we also, the lads are in a good place and they all want to play. So, we haven't got a game for another 7 days after that. They've had a good rest between it. So I think we can go pretty strong.
How do you see Oxford then? I mean, the team without a manager, they're struggling at the wrong end of the championship table, but a championship team all the same, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I know their team really well. I've played against that team quite a few times, so I know them players. I've come across them a lot. Their front line is super dynamic. So I was saying to the lads today, if you thought you could have 3 touches on Saturday, you'll get away with 2 or 1 Friday night. So they've got real pace and athleticism, youth and athleticism across the front line, which is good for them, not so great for me. Depending on who they pick in midfield, they might pick like a Will Vokes, who I've had before, who's a really good leader and got a monster long throw, and they've got athletic fullbacks and really experienced centre half. So look, it doesn't matter what championship team you play. If you play the worst championship team currently, they're still a very, very good team. And that's the thing with Oxford. Like I said earlier, I alluded to it, that their shape is similar to Chesterfield. Their fullbacks probably aren't as expansive as Chesterfield's, but they have pace and power and ability throughout. So they can really hurt you. They can definitely hurt you on the counter-attack. And in fairness to them, I know they're going through a bit of a transition, but we watched their game against Sunderland, which they were excellent in. That I know that the players always try. That's an awful thing to say. They always try, but there's always the bounce when a new manager comes in, or look, you don't know who's watching you today. A new manager's coming in. It's always a bit awkward in Jan. So I do know that their team will turn up here wanting to win, wanting to play well, wanting to give a good account of themselves, and they're very good players. So I know that, because if I phoned any of them up and said, look, would you come and play for me? They'd be like, look, you do know where I'm playing and what league I'm in, don't you? So look, they're an outstanding team of individuals currently, and we'll have to be our very, very best to go toe to toe with them. In the same way, hopefully they'll come here knowing that they've been in the right game, and you just need a bit of lady luck, a bounce here or there, or set piece or something, and you could cause a shock. But it should be an entertaining game. That's
the thing, isn't it? It's still a championship team, irrespective of where they are in the division. They're still a
championship
team.
They're still championship players.
Players,
if those players now became available, 50% of them would probably get swooped up by champ clubs straight away. I mean, I know a couple of them definitely would. And then it would be the big hitters in League One would come snooping. So, if I phone up, and respectfully Cardiff have phoned up, there's a good chance he's going to Cardiff. So, I know where the players are, I know their experience they've got, they're used to, big games, big crowds, big this, big that. And however, we've still got people in our dressing room who are, unfortunately 2 of them are injured, but generally speaking, we're trying to get these players that can play at this level, and it would be a good test for some of our players of where they're at. So I look forward to watching the lads play and helping them to be really competitive and put a show on that the fans can be really proud of, irrespective of the result. I think the lads have come a long way this year.
And finally, I know that you never managed him, but George Baldock was a big part of MK Dons, and obviously spent a long time on loan as well at Oxford. It's going to be, I suppose, a celebration of George Baldock in the lead up to this game. There's big emotions involved, aren't there? Especially with it being the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, and that we have GB2 room downstairs that is, in his memory, really. I know his brother. I've seen his brother at many games. I know they're a lovely family. I know he's a really good kid. I still am good friends with Chris and Nilly at Chef U, and they always spoke really highly of him, as does Rich. And in fairness, there's loads of amazing people in football, don't get me wrong, but you don't very often get people spoke as highly of as you have him. So I didn't know him personally. I did once. In fairness, he did speak to me once about one of my players who I had on loan, who was in his flat, his set of flats, who he thought didn't have the lifestyle befitting a footballer, so he kindly told me, which was great, and I could obviously deal with that situation. But
so more a landlord than a right back then.
Yeah. So he was the chief of police for us in the Sheffield area, which is great. But that's how footballers should be, dedicated to the craft, and I thanked him for it. So obviously it's so sad what's happened, but it's nice that he can live on in the memory, and it shouldn't be a depressing memory. It should be look, you were blessed that you watched him play. You were blessed that you knew him as a person. Unfortunately, I only knew him for grassing one of my players up, but it will still be a memory that makes me smile.